Welcome. In front of me I have the iPad Air M4 and I'll be showing you how you can restore a backup of your device. Now I do want to clarify this right away just so there's no confusion. I'll be restoring it not through iCloud but through PC. So this will be done strictly on computer side. Now you can restore, I believe, from an iCloud backup. I do have all mine done to the PC, so that's what I'll be using. And my device is right now in the setup stage. Now this doesn't really have that much importance. So yeah, anyway, let's get started. Now on my end, I'm using Windows, but you can do this on macOS. It doesn't really matter. The only difference is on Windows, there are additional steps that we need to take at the beginning, while macOS, you can just chill and wait for me to kind of catch up, because macOS comes baked in with everything that you need. It's like straight in the system, while Windows and Apple just kind of, Apple has gone through the enshittification process and made things even worse to kind of try to get me to move to macOS, like, because yeah, that's what goes through my head. If the company goes out of the way to make the experience shittier for me to move, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spend more money to move to, because I get baited by this bullshit. Like, come on, Tim, figure it out. It's definitely not that. I'm gonna stay the hell away. In any case, with that out of the way, we on at least Windows side will need to download the crappiest program of in existence, at least for giga corporations. And you're not going to be going to apple.com as you would probably expected to download this shit. You're not even going to be downloading anything from the browser like you would expected on Windows. Instead, you're going to be navigating to the god-awful place called Microsoft Store. And in here, you're going to search for Apple devices. Now you want to look for the lowest rated program in sight, which just happens to be the one that we need. 2.1 stars. I do want to say I hated iTunes when it came out because it was already enshittified, forcing you to use a program to do basic management of data on your device that devices back then didn't even, back then had it figured out that, hey, you plug it in and it acts like a freaking storage. So this rating right here, 2.3, if iTunes would have come out now instead of Apple devices, if the roles were switched, iTunes would have been probably 4.5 stars out of 5. Because honestly, we had it good back then. iTunes was good. And you might be wondering, what the hell happened with it then? Well, iTunes, Apple more like kind of ditched it, updated by just completely removing it and substituting it with Apple devices. So that's what you want to get. Open it up, and that's kind of where we need to start off, both on Mac and Windows, as when you have this, we're basically on the same page. So let's grab a cable and plug it in, and it should show up on the side panel right here. Here we go, the iPad right here, and all the info is also visible right here that we need. Now on macOS, what you would need to do is open up your Finder, and if you don't know what a Finder is, it's basically like the file explorer kind of thing, catalog looking thing that Windows has. And if you still can't find it, just open up any folder on your desktop on Mac. And on the side panel of that, like basically like right here, you will have a bunch of different things, including somewhere you should find, when your device is plugged in, your iPad. So you want to click on it, and when you do, you should have this page right here. So from here, you can see we have right here option to manage backups, backup now, or restore backup. So I'm going to select restore backup, and this will present me with a list of different options that I can restore from. So you can see that they are sorted by date, and if they're iPads all, like if you had multiple iPads, you might actually see a couple different iPads, even iPhones, as you can see. So we have iPhones right here, and we have iPads. So those will show up here, and you can pick whichever one you want. As iPhones and iPads are about the same, all the applications are interchangeable between them. You can technically restore iPhones, and it will just restore all the data that was on that iPhone, but instead it will be now on your iPad. And also, if you don't have any kind of iPad backup, but you have an iPhone, you could just plug in your iPhone. If I cancel that, you could do right here, create a backup right now of, you do backup now. Once you have the correct option selected that you want to utilize, backup now, and you'd back up your iPhone, and from there replug your iPad, restore that iPhone backup, for instance. Now I'm going to choose whatever. I honestly don't know what the differences here are between these backups. I don't think there's much. So I'm just going to select whichever one and then select restore. Now, one thing that happens is it tells you that you need to erase and restore. So any kind of data that you're storing on this right now, moronically first needs to be removed for that restore to be applied. So, you know, Apple doesn't conceive the idea of you wanting to add additional files because, hell, maybe you are already using this and then you want to restore additional data that was, for instance, on your iPhone back on here while keeping what was already on here. That's kind of going over Tim Cook's idea of what you're supposed to be able to do. That is way too complex for his simple little mind. So we're just going to erase and restore. So this actually will take several minutes. So just be patient. I'm going to come back once it's finished. So I think on the tablet it's going to just kind of give me some new looking page instead of the setup one. So we'll see. So yeah, I'm going to just kind of mute myself. This will be going in real time. So you can feel free to skip forward by like several minutes probably. I don't remember how long it takes to restore a device. And this also might vary depending on the backup that you're restoring. As a backup that is filled with like 100 gigabytes of applications and so on, might take a little bit longer. So anyway, I'll be back once hopefully it's finished for me. Okay, so as you can see, the process is now finished, and when you unlock it, it tells you quickly that the restore is complete, and we can kind of go quickly through this. We do need to still do a tiny bit of setup, and even when your device was already set up, you'd still need to go through this. Now, one of the nice things is we can now continue without network. I'm gonna also, actually no, I don't want to add this. I'm gonna use without. There we go. I'm gonna also not use this. Come on, Apple. Turning off location services doesn't take this long. Now, while this is doing basically bullshit in the background, we can unplug our device because we no longer need the cable. It has already finished, and you could also see that on the computer side. Wow, Apple, you're not really shining right here. An M4 processor, and you're struggling to turn off location services? Oh boy, not a good look. Here, look, it's supposed to take you this long. There we go, it's off. Anyway, we can now continue. Get started. And there we go. Now, because we don't have internet connection right now, almost everything here isn't downloaded. As Apple downloads their application with internet connection, which without it, it can't. So, in general, once you connect to network, it's going to start downloading all of them. In any case, that's about it. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.